Welcome to sadywelljapan.com. Today's lecture is about deduction for the dependent. I want to talk about especially the dependent spouse case from the income tax perspective and also social insurance perspective. They are similar but very different. So let's say that in today's lectures, I will explain based on the one example. Your husband is working at the full time and your wife is working as a part time. So what happens in these cases, and how much a salary your wife should earn? If under the Japanese tax law, if the annual salary is less than the 1,030,000 Japanese yen, you don't have to pay the income tax, and your husband can get an income tax exemption of 380,000 Japanese yen. And from the social insurance perspective, if this is important, expected annual salary is less than the 1,300,000 Japanese yen, the dependent do not have to pay the social insurance fee. Social insurance means like health insurance or the pensions. So let me explain you the detail. From the tax perspective, I said that if the annual salary is less than the 1,030,000 Japanese yen, there's no tax. So how I get that number? All people can enjoy the base exemption. This one, can be applied to the non-resident too. So the salaried employee cannot recognize the business expenses like meeting expenses and like transportation cost, but instead the salaried employee can get the exemption for the salaried employee, and minimum amount is 650,000. So 380 plus 650 is 1,030,000 Japanese yen. So if your taxable income is less than this, if your salary is less than this amount, you don't have to pay the tax. And in order, in order to get a 380, deduction for the dependent spouse, the following four conditions has to be met. The first one is your husband and wife must be legally married. It's just like not living just together for a long time is not enough, and the husband and the wife need to share the same wallet, like same budget, share the living expenses. And also, if you are sole proprietorship, you can hire your wife or husband and pay salary to them and recognize additional expenses. But if your wife or husband is hired by your business, the deduction for the dependent cannot be used. And annual salary is 1,030,000 yen. You can recognize 380 income exemption. So next one, I want to talk from the social insurance perspective. If you are regarded as a dependent, you do not have to pay the social insurance fee such as health insurance or pension, because the insurance is covered by the others. So who can become the dependent? Your spouse and the children, grandchildren, parents, grandparents, younger brother and younger sisters. Those people are, even though they are not living together with you, they can be your dependent. But it's kind of interesting. Younger brother and younger sister can live in different places and still become a dependent. But elder brother or elder sister, they if they are not living together with you, they cannot be your dependent. And uncle or aunt, it's same. So the big difference between the dependent from the tax perspective and social insurance perspective is, the tax, we calculate the threshold based on the actual income you earn or salary you earn. But for the social insurance perspective, we decide whether it's a dependent or not based on the expected amount of annual salary. So, which means, if you are hired and if you studied your part-time or job, and if monthly salary is exceeding about 180,000 Japanese yen, you are not treated as a dependent. And also, working hour is different. You must consider the working hours. If the working hours is exceeding 3/4 of full-time employee, which is usually 30 hours per week, you cannot be a dependent, which means that you have to pay the social insurance by yourself. So now the social insurance law was changed from last year. So the threshold was decreased from 1,300,000 to 1,060,000 Japanese yen for the large corporation. Like large corporation means the number of the employee is, more than the 500. And in such cases, if your working hours is 20, not 30, exceeding 20 hours, you can't be a dependent. And expected annual income must be less than 1,060,000 Japanese yen. And also, if you are expected to work more than 1 year, you have to pay the social insurance cost. This is all for today's lectures. Thank you for listening, and see you next time. Bye-bye. I'm giving you the useful information about the business in Japan. If you don't want to miss it, please subscribe to this channel. See you next time.